Hi everyone, this is Rachel Kirkland here, the Modern Shaman. Thanks for being with me for this YouTube video of the week. If you're new to the channel, I always say I am glad that you are here. This is a beautiful community of people that share, that send in their questions, that connect through my Facebook, all the social media, like this page as well as my Facebook page, as well as my Instagram page. There's a huge and amazing collective of people that are supportive of this work and the evolutionary journey that we're all on. So if you're just getting to know this group, we're glad you're here. Please feel free to connect with us in a multitude of ways. I would just really encourage you to go to the website, which is themodernshaman.net. And there's a lot of resources on there for you, whether it is my sessions, my mentorship programs, as well as all of the teaching of the online modules that will help you develop your gifts in very specific and precise ways with a ton of practice activities and handouts and guided meditations and shamanic journeys and healing activities, and really helping you step by step through the process of strengthening and remembering all that you're capable of. So I hope you check it out. Here's the question of the week this week. Okay, here we go. Question: potential of crystals. Okay, Rachel, do you think energy crystals could be useful in healing? Oh, not healing, sorry. Let me start over. Scratch that. Take two. This is my little thing. Take two. Do you think energy crystals would be helpful? Dang it, I screwed up again. Dang it. Okay, cut that again. Can we cut three? Here we go. Do you think energy crystals could be useful in helping people to attain spiritual abilities? How powerful do you believe that they are? I haven't used crystals until recently and could feel a oneness with them. I was using quartz and I felt so much calmer, like it was giving me power. I wonder if the movie Atlantis gave clues as to their potential. So, question about potential of crystals. Particularly, you mentioned to help people attain spiritual abilities. Well, yeah, they're powerful. Science shows us this. You don't even have to ask a shaman about that, but yes. Okay, let me see how I want to go into this. I'm just going to say yes. Can I just answer and say yes, they're powerful, and yes, they can help us attain spiritual and psychic potentials. All right, but I'll give you a little bit more than yes. And so we know, and just in our current use of crystals, and really if we go back to the ancients, look at ancient Egypt, look at the obelisks and pyramids and so many structures that are inclusive of quartz. Quartz is widely attainable. I think as a resource on the earth, I think it's up there in the top 5 most common minerals. Like, it's very, very accessible, but it ranges in its levels of clarity, just like any sort of stone. But the potentials are, so if you're familiar with quartz, it is programmable. And the way that we use it in that it's most commonly used is with mechanical pressure or mechanical programming. And when they put mechanical stress on it or program it through a mechanical use, this is where we get crystal oscillators, right? So crystal oscillators are used in watches, computers, GPS systems. They're just all over the place. And it's based in quartz crystal oscillators. So basically putting pressure on the quartz in a systematic way, in a mechanical way, to attain a particular frequency. And that frequency, frequency is a measurement of a vibration. So you begin to oscillate, and it maintains that oscillation at a particular frequency, and then we use that for electrical charges. It turns electrical. Those crystal oscillators are piezoelectric, and piezoelectric qualities are those that become electrical when mechanical stress is put on them. So it creates electrical current and can be used to in things that need a sense of electrical current. So like watches, and again, a lot of electronics, like we use it for our electronic base in a lot of things. So even on the elemental level, the mineral level, they are incredibly potent. And of course, this translates into the uses when we talk about frequency, right? I mean, hello, you talk about vibration. This is a very, very powerful use of a mineral, of a stone, and this has been used in the ancients. Like I said, this is nothing new. And even, it's funny when people are like, oh, we're going to have, I'm going to get into crystal therapy or crystal healing. This has been used forever. This is part of our ancient sacred initiation and awareness of the minerals in which that we live in and upon, and how to utilize them for technology that seems very high in terms of its intelligence, and yet very simple in terms of its profundity. A lot of the profound uses of technology, as we're aware of, the simpler and simpler they seem, the higher the level of intelligence is required to program or set them, because they are working on such a high level of mechanism. And so the system of a quartz crystal can really be utilized in terms of programming, and you set it by frequency. And if you're not aware, your heart is also an electromagnetic oscillator. It beats and it pumps and it creates an electromagnetic frequency. It is and that is emanating from you at all times, which can be seen if you study auras. On the scientific side of things, if you study spectrography, or the study of light transferring through objects that radiates off objects. This can be seen in Kirkland photography of raw foods, how much energy is created off of certain things. All of this being said, whether you explain it through science or you explain it through our metaphysical community, it doesn't make any difference. It's there, and the uses of quartz can be done by simply programming that frequency. You stated that you felt much calmer when you were utilizing that quartz crystal. But part of the power of quartz is that through that sense of setting the frequency, again, remember the frequency is the measurement of the vibration of that oscillation that it's holding. So the vibration that the quartz is holding can be set. And you can, let me get my quartz. Hang on. All right, this is Lemurian quartz, which I love. It is super transparent. Can you all see it? I don't know if you can see it. This is a gorgeous piece that I've had for a while. Even the point and the purpose, the pyramid shape, if you study any sacred geometry, these are uses of the directional focus and momentum of where the energy comes off of the quartz. This is why also many seers utilized spheres or crystal globes, right? Because the energy is equalized out and it's diffused equally. Well, when you have a pointed aspect of the quartz, whether it's concave, convex in the circles, or whether it's pointed and terminated like this, then the momentum will come off. And a lot of times the prisms, I don't know if you can see in here, there's some rainbow inclusions in here, where the prisms get very, very sharp and the energy becomes very, very potent to come out and be directed out of those points at the top. So when you program a quartz, you simply hold your palm chakras. You can put it on any chakra. You can put it on your heart as well, because again, that is your electromagnetic center in the human form. And you simply set the intention and you hold that frequency. When you begin emanating frequencies, if you've never done this, you can also read this with water rods, with copper rods. if you've ever done any work with that, of holding a frequency, an emotional core. So you think of something happy, you think of something that gives you joy, like elation, and you feel it and you feel it and you think it and you think it and you hold it for 60 seconds, right? So emanate that vibration. Essentially, that is a frequency emote generator, and our heart begins to create that electromagnetic current pulse and send it out just like a radio wave or a sound wave out of the body, but it's not a sound wave, it's just an energetic wave coming out. It's electromagnetic frequency. While you are using your palm chakras, I guess you could put it in your feet, but how many people are really going to use their feet chakras to hold a crystal in their feet? Essentially, you are programming it with that frequency that you are emitting, emoting. And you're sustaining that frequency as pure as you can for 60 seconds. Just hold it for a minute. When I first began to learn to program myself frequency-wise, I would do this just in my own meditation time. You can also, like I said, learn to read this and see how powerful, how far out your auric field or your electromagnetic frequency is able to go. How much momentum you can add out there. So the strength of your signal of that frequency. And essentially you can do this with a partner if you have those copper rods and water rods, dowsing rods, and those rods, and they can stand far apart from you. You know, even I used to do this, like stand in the backyard, like as far out, we could see how far we could get our frequency to emit. And essentially you would again initiate a thought of an emotional core and begin to see it and feel it and shout it and emote it. And the person who is standing across from you or across the yard or across the house will hold the rods pointing at you. And when the energy and that frequency hits them, they will begin to cross over. This shows the potency of how far out your momentum is pushing that electromagnetic field. When you are doing that with a crystal, essentially it begins to hold and oscillate in a prismatic way that current that you're creating inside of it. It begins to be programmed. Okay, just like the center of a computer, when it's given a particular program, it runs that system. Crystals know exactly what to do with this. They're actually doing more studies that water has the same type of oscillation power and holding of memory. It's a little different in terms of the way that it processes the program, but water also has the same potential here, and if not more, that they're finding to hold information and store those frequencies that we're programming inside of the molecules. Very, very powerful. When it comes to spiritual ability, frequency is the base of shifting various dimensional experiences, brainwave states, which would include our meditation states, our theta brainwave states, which moves us into that super consciousness or that sense of being able to move out of body, move into the Akashic records, and have conscious access to experiences stored within our DNA, within our limitless sense of memory that is not just held within our neurology and our physical brain, rather in various potentials or spaces of the consciousness and the cosmic web that we are a part of, or the grid that we are a part of, and the collective consciousness. This also enables you to have a sense of programming something that you want to bring up within yourself in terms of spiritual capability. So if you want to learn how to do something, for instance, on a computer, you can set a program to run to teach you a new language. Similar to that, because that's based in quartz crystal, would be a way that you could program through your own sense of intentional setting that emotional core and that mental thought, getting as precise as you can get with your mental thoughts. If you've ever studied the use of intention, intention is very similar to the way the ancients talked about spell work, using language and semantics and words, the power of bringing spirit in through word, which is the same as creating a program or writing a script. for quartz crystal, but essentially you are getting very, very precise with your languaging. And I teach people how to do this in my how to set intentions course, and how to give kind of rules and regulations for spirit into the non-physical realm, but how to set something in a physical mandate, and then how to basically create a sense of script that the non-physical will take into play. It is setting that intention, and then the materialization or the manifestation of that comes into play. A lot of this is the basis, like I said, of ancient spell work and ancient work of spiritual contracts, as well as the way that we have come to learn in our New Age community of the law of attraction, of how to manifest things by affirmation and utilizing words and language and essentially systems of our human expression to program out and create something that is manifested from there. So you can do the same thing when you are holding the crystal. You're holding a particular intention and you want to get very, very precise with your words. The words have to be true. So if you've never created an intention with a sense of truth, you break down the words to where you mean exactly, or you say exactly what you mean in the most succinct and potent way possible. The words feel true, and you have to play with the wording just like you would play with a poem, or you would play with a almost like a haiku. You want to get the least amount of words with as much energy, potency in them, meaning what you say, similar to the way you would create an affirmation. You're always creating it in the positive because you're wanting it to create forward in a positive response, and you're holding that. Whether you want to learn about something, or you want to know something, or you want to go to an ancient school of information, or you want to see a past life, whatever it may be. And you're essentially creating that spiritual potential within the program of the crystal. It is as simple as I'm saying, and yet as profound as I'm saying. Remember, this is a huge quartz crystal compared to what is inside a watch or what is inside a computer circuit. It doesn't take much to program and create and then let the crystal do the work. It's oscillating in that frequency, maintaining that vibration for you, and essentially running that program until you clear it and run another program, just like we clear computers and we run a new whole platform. The same is true because, again, this is the same base. It's based in a crystal oscillator. It's using the same potential that is there for you in the quartz crystal. Sorry, outside my office. You hear that? I think they're here to make the beautiful outside of my office even more beautiful. They're trimming the trees and mowing the lawn. Okay, I am going to sign off. I hope that was, I went in a lot of directions there, because there's a lot that you can do with crystals. Utilize it in whatever way is meaningful to you, because they have so much potential. And I know that even in our experience of being on this planet, we don't even know what we don't know. So I'm sure there is more to the mystery and magic of what our mineral world holds for us. And it would do us some good to respect and honor and learn from it. Sending you guys blessings. We'll be back here next week with another video. Thanks for joining.